Shalom, shalom. We're coming right back. I had to run into the store for a minute, waiting on that friends list to jump up. Tag a few folks. Got some important stuff we want to talk about. It's on the level of prophecy. We want our brothers and sisters to get their minds right. Get their minds right. Okay, it's too late in the game to be trying to have a wonderful life here in America. It's too late in the game. It's too late in the game to be consumed with a new house and be consumed with a car and be consumed and have all your energy drained out of you trying to find the right job and better college education. It's too late in the game for that. It's too late in the game for that. If our brothers and sisters, just because you got money, that don't mean you're a part of this system. That don't mean that at all. You're a part of the system, but not in a good way. Those are brothers and sisters that have money. You understand what I'm saying? They are being used against our people. You see, they are not your people. They might look like you, but they ain't your people. They ain't your people because they made a choice and they made a decision to hook themselves up with the opposition. So, but it's too late in the game for that. Right now, we need to start looking at some things where prophecy is concerned so we can be able to see some of these things that's carrying themselves out. And through looking at prophecy, we're going to be able to debunk some of the things that brothers and sisters is out here teaching and dealing with. It's too late in the game. You understand what I'm saying? It's too late in the game. If our brothers and sisters is in church, it's too late in the game, man, for you to still be concerned about who got the best choir and, you know what I'm saying? What's the best quartet group? And it's too late in the game to be talking about when praises go up, blessings come down. It's too late in the game for that. And if you got your head right there, you're in trouble. So I'm just tagging a few people right here because this is important. Jason, don't let me forget the topic. I got my brother back with me. Our season is about to start again. And so right now we just hooked up and just try to brainstorm. And we want to hit the floor running when we get the chance to do some work or something of that nature. But we're gonna get on that. It's too late in the game. It's too late in the game, man. It's too late in the game. And we still thinking about all type of stuff. The next party, the next event. It's too late in the game. Every time we do anything and pull ourselves together, it ought to be for the sake of sharpening each other up with the word of the Most High. It is too late in the game for all this other stuff. When you look at the world that you're living in now, prophecy is being fulfilled. In the last days, perilous times shall come. In the last days, dangerous times shall come. It's so dangerous out here right now, man. You can be killed. You can lose your life on anything. That's why I tell everybody, you pray. You hit the floor on your knees in the morning when you wake up, giving the Father glory and thanks and reminding him of the things that he has spoken. I remind him all the time, now, Father, you promised me that if I didn't do no harm to nobody, wouldn't no harm come to me, and I need you to protect me because we got wicked brothers out here, we got wicked cops out here, we got wicked women out here. The whole damn system is corrupt and wicked. And if you can hit the floor and walk out of your house without praying, without asking the Father to protect you, protect your wife, protect your children, protect your family, man, you know what? You're in a state of deep sleep. So I want to come back on here because this is the time of the Gentiles being fulfilled, because judgment is upon them. Okay, desperate people do desperate things. And that European, he ain't never put the blame in the right place where it was supposed to be. And it didn't take much for him to put the blame in the right place. All he had to do was go and find the nearest mirror and look in it. Because he is the only dude on the planet that have not been able to coexist with anybody. Yet it's everybody else's fault. And you want the whole world to be sympathetic to you and this or that or the other. And when we ain't sympathetic to them, it ain't nothing but pure hatred and rage gonna come out. One day these people gonna show their true colors. They are no different than their forefathers. For they are children or a product of their parent. And apples don't fall that far from a tree. The Bible says in the book of Sirach, trust not thy enemy, for as iron rusteth, so does his wickedness. And you put your trust, and I look at a lot of these sisters out here, they hanging with Euro girls, and a lot of these brothers, they at the bar and everything, and hee-haw, and yes sir, and trying to be like them, and they don't have no idea that they are going to perish for their rebellion against the scripture. For he speaketh peace with his lips, but war is in his heart. And then have the nerve enough to say somebody's a racist. Well, guess what? Have you not heard that I love Jacob, but Esau did I hate? Now, so don't put the hate on me. Put it on the Most High. You know, he the one that said he hates you. I don't hate you. I ain't gonna do no harm to you, but he gonna do it, and he doing it right now. So there's some things that I want our brothers to be aware of, because desperate people do desperate things. And when you ain't got no, have you ever noticed that in your life sometimes things can happen to you, and sometimes it be your own foolishness, but you can't really be hard on yourself, so you start taking it out on all of the people around you as though it's something that somebody else done to you. Or something happened to you and frustrate your day, and the next thing you know, you taking it out on your wife or on your children or on your friends or whoever you can come in contact with to release that wrath on. You take it out on them as though it's something that they done to you, when in actuality, they ain't do nothing to you. They ain't do nothing to you. You done it to yourself. So let's get this phone set up right quick, and then we're going to run in here, and we're going to talk about this little thing that's important. All right, let's get that plugged up. All right, y'all. So you're gonna have to lean over so you can be seen. Cause let's see here. All right, let's get that off. It's all good. I can't get that off, cause I don't need that in the way, man. Dang, sweetie probably got all. Oh, there it is. I just take that off. Take that off of there. How did I get that off? Okay, just take that off of there. Yeah, there we go. All right, yeah. So here's the thing me and Yasin was talking about. Now, up here I got a sun visor. Y'all see that sun visor? Y'all see that right there? That's my driver's license. Okay? We want our brothers. When you're driving your car, it's cool to have, it's cool to keep your license in your wallet, but when you're driving your car, you need to put your license up here over the sun visor, so that you don't have to be reaching for nothing to get in your wallet when these wicked cops stop you, looking for a reason to do you bodily harm. You understand what I'm saying? You can have both your hands right there, but your license is right there. So you ain't got to reach for nothing. Only thing you got to do is just get your license and bam. All right? Now, that's a good thing. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because you see time and time again that people are hurting our people and using any excuse to do it, and they're not doing a day in jail for it. So whatever we can do to protect ourselves in the midst of these things is good. Now, the other thing, like what was you saying about the carrying? I was
saying that if you're able to carry a weapon legally, you want to make sure that doesn't cause you to come up under being a victim of somebody that's corrupt, that's trying to uphold the law, when you feel yourself that you have participated in the law to have your weapon. So you have to understand that some of these laws is not meant, or the rights that we have are not meant for us to have. No way. So
yeah,
they'll use that factor. You might even tell them, well, yeah, I have a weapon in my car that's registered to me. But see, from that point on, they're scared. They're scared, and any reaching that you might do, being that your license, your insurance, then you could be set up by that factor of you reaching, because they know you have a weapon in the car. Well, most of the times when, you tell the officer, because I'm one person that, I used to carry a gun because I've never been a felon, but, the first thing that they do when you tell them that you have a gun in the car or a weapon in the car is they're supposed to detain you and get that weapon, and then go on with whatever traffic you were stopped for, traffic violation or whatever. But the guy in Florida some time back, him and his girlfriend that went viral on Facebook, he made it clear to the police that he had a gun, he was registered, and he had the concealed carry, certificate and everything. But the officer asked him, well, give me your ID. And when he went to go grab it, he shot him 4 times. Well, that's a setup. So, I know when I carry my gun, I always like to have it close to me, But every time that I got stopped and I made the police aware that I had a gun or a weapon in the car, that it took them hours. They had to figure out and make sure, because they really wanted to pin it on me and, of me not being able to carry a weapon. But, these is just things to be conscious about, because, these people do have the right to take your life, and I know as much as we want to believe that, we have rights in this country and things like that, well, you want to believe it, but as we can see it, that sometimes it's not true, and it doesn't work in our favor like it works in others' favor.
Here's some pocket change.
Okay, thanks. So that's where me and my brother and the elder was going today with it, with just keeping some things conscious that you have to deal with in your everyday life. So, and then well, I want to see where you want to go with this. Where you want to go with it?
Okay, whoa, where they come? Oh, okay, I got some new stuff going on down here. What is that?
Wow,
oh, wow, yeah, that's something. Damn, they done kick some new stuff in there. Shalom, everybody. Shalom, Brother Rashard. Shalom, Brother Vlado. Shalom, Dennis. Yakim Maccabees, my main man, is on the horn. Shalom, Brother Yakim. Out there with that gourmet popcorn, boy. I'm going to be looking for a bag of that. Make sure you bring one to Memphis. Shalom, Sister Raya. Yes, real. Sister Cecilia. Okay, now what we was dealing with is that we want our brothers and sisters to know that, listen, prophecy is what we have. Prophecy is what we have. And people want to say, well, you know what do you have that makes your faith so greater than anybody else? Well, we have prophecy. We have prophecy, and the only people that had prophets was the nation of Israel. We were the only people that the Father had given the ability to see into the future and pronounce nations' destiny. But in this particular case, we're talking about our brothers and sisters, because we don't want our brothers and sisters to keep going for this foolishness. And you got to understand that when they came up with this gun law and this license to carry law, that it wasn't talking about you. Because see, white people ain't never needed no law to carry weapons. They ain't never needed that. Okay, they have always had the First Amendment that gave them the right to carry firearms. So why would they need to put a law in place? They only needed to put a law in place because it was against the law for the slave to ever have a firearm. And so when they put the law into place, they put the law into place to psych a bunch of our brothers and sisters out, to make them think that they have some type of right to carry a firearm. But they have duped you. And many of our brothers and sisters, them being killed because they have weapons on them. You see, they have tricked you into going by this law and going to get you a weapon. And the only thing is that long as you got a weapon, they can kill you and don't do a day. They don't even have to answer no questions about it. They don't care nothing about the piece of paper in your wallet, because that ain't worth 2 cents. It don't even apply to you. So, I'm going to tell my brothers and sisters, okay, if you don't have no people that's no immediate threat to you, or nobody that's immediately trying to harm your family, you want to carry your weapon, you put your weapon in the trunk, okay? And if you ever need it, then you get it out of the trunk. But you put your weapon in the trunk, you don't walk around carrying no weapon on you, and then when the cops stop you, you got to first tell him that you're armed. Well, chances are the minute he find out you armed, you as good as a dead man. In spite of the paper that you got, because the paper don't mean nothing. The paper was a systematic scheme and a systematic trap and setup. So, you know, it's what it is, man. We got to be wise in these last days to come, because they're going to come against us in ways that you can't believe, but we don't want to bring none of these things upon ourselves. The Bible tells you to be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove. That means that you got to be in front of your enemy. You got to be ahead of his thinking. You got to know what's on his mind before he ever even come up with it. Otherwise, we stand to be destroyed. And we need to get our brothers and sisters to understand this. We need to get our brothers and sisters to understand these type of things, you know. So that way we don't just be wasting our lives. What is up with this individual up here?
You know, the other thing I wanted to talk about, man, is like everything that, you know, everything in this system is corrupted.
Yep, it is.
I mean, down to down to the entertainment. You could say, like, you know, I know a lot of us have children. We want to go out and get them Disney tapes and things like that, but so many of these things that are set up, you know, for our kids as entertainment is corrupted.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
There's a lot of things, like, I just was sitting and watching TV, you know. I'll watch on TV and I'll be watching, like, the previews on History Channel, like Forged in Fire. You know, we think that these things are innocent, but they ain't, because they're corruptible. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
They, you know, the thing you hear on there is, let's see if your weapon can kill.
Right.
Well, you know, what is it killing? It's killing the Father's creation, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So these things, you know, you get caught up in, and we see that these are some of the things that the angels taught men.
Right.
You know, was how to melt metals and make weapons for war.
Right.
You know, so it's just a lot of things. Like, I was looking at this new film that they've got out for kids. You know, a little animated film called Coco. But it's about necromancy. It's about talking to the dead. You know, we think like, well, it doesn't mean nothing, or like the Harry Potters, but we're talking about sorcery.
Right.
You're putting these things in their head, their children. They don't know how to discern that. They think, and then because we embrace it and give it to them, they think it's okay. It's acceptable to maybe start dabbling in magic.
And we got a lot of our brothers and sisters that are involved in that stuff, and that's why I say, you know, for you brothers and sisters that's parents, you know, my children are grown. I raised them and instructed them the best I can as a father, but now that they're grown, it's up to them. It's up to them that have to make the choices to choose to follow the Most High on their own. Everybody had to make that choice, but now for you brothers and sisters to have children, and I know some of you, you know, we got a lot of sisters that's single parents and stuff of that nature, and I know you can't just go and pull your kid out of the school system because you don't have nobody else to help you. You know, you're by yourself, so you got to send your kids to public school where they can learn and teach them all these different wicked things. You understand what I'm saying? But nevertheless, you still have to go out of your way combat those things. You have to be the one that's doing the overall teaching. You can't become so preoccupied with going to work and providing food and providing shelter, providing clothing, that you forget provision is more than those things. Provision is wisdom. Okay? And so if you're not able to take your kid out of a public school, then now you have to start praying, and you have to ask the Father to give you some help so that you can teach and instruct and build your child up in such a way that they'll be going to the office every other day for not identifying with that nonsense. And these are just some of the things that we're dealing with, because they know that you cannot stop prophecy. Okay? So the only way that the children of Israel can be cursed, only way that they can keep a curse on the Negro, is to keep him going against the Father's will. So We got to be all the way on top of that. We got to be all the way on top of that. As long as they can keep us going against the Father's will, and they're going to keep us in the same situation. But they know that they can't do that because the Father's word is changing our mindset and bringing us back to our heritage. So that what they doing, they said we can kill them. You know, I was on the phone with one of my brothers out of Detroit last night, and he talked about octopus, and that's how this system is. This system is like an octopus, and it has tentacles. An octopus has tentacles. It got 8, 9 tentacles. You understand what I'm saying? And these are the systematic schemes that are on us from all different areas, all different levels. But the Father is starting to expose that craftiness. So one of those tentacles is the prison system. Okay, now they can't put us all in prison. Another one of them tentacles is drugs and all of that. They put that on us. Then another, they put homosexuality on our men. They put lesbianism on our women. All of these things are hitting us all at the same time, and we got to be aware of these things because the Father's exposing them, but we have a level of responsibility to deal with at the same time. Every message is not going to always be about 10, 20 different scriptures, because the Bible is practical and the scripture had to be walked out in life, but sometimes you have to be made to see how to apply to specific areas and specific arenas. And one of the things is that we keep reminding people that Father brought you into the land of your enemies. See? And so you will never be on the same plateau as your enemy when you're in his kingdom. Why would you allow yourself to be fooled like that? You see? Because at the end of the day, it's destruction for you. By their own mouth, they said, hey, the black man has always been subservient to us. And as long as he remains that way, he is cool. But at the point he becomes a contender, his fate is sealed. Well, see, now we're becoming contenders because the time of the Gentiles is at hand and their kingdom is coming down. And since our kingdom is rising in the process, we have now become contenders. We are now in a fight to see whose kingdom is going to stand, whose kingdom going to be the last one. Well, we know whose kingdom going to be standing because we have something that they don't have. We had the prophetic word that said Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of that which follows. We know the outcome, but they don't. So now it's to a point of contending. So they've already declared in their mind that when we as a people become contenders with them in what they call their kingdom, which is really not their kingdom, but is a stolen kingdom, that we one day will rule and give back to the people that it was stolen to and bring them up under our righteousness. You see, we have become contenders. And so they have already declared that at the point we become contenders, that they're going to seal our fate. And to seal a person's fate, we know what they're talking about. They're talking about murder. And so one of the things that another one spoke was that the best way to kill a nigga is to kill him before he's born. You understand what I'm saying? And they've been killing our babies in the womb before they can come out ever since. And then our sisters ain't got the sense enough to know it. Y'all better come up off a stripping pose. You better learn how to close your legs. But the Most High gonna judge you for that. Don't you know that bloodshed of the innocent shall not be unpunished? And when you get to the kingdom, it's gonna be those aborted babies be the first things standing there. They will be standing there because they exist in eternity past with the Father before they ever got a birthday to come down and leap in somebody's womb. They already was with the Father. For he told Jeremiah, before I formed thee in the womb, I knew thee. And Jeremiah was a prophet. Do you have any idea how many prophets of Israel have been slain at the hands of abortion clinic because the sister went and volunteered? You see?
See, that's the same corrupt thing that I'm talking about, that it goes on in this system that was taught by the Father.
Yeah, how to smite the embryo.
They make seem, well, you know, if you financially, you manipulate it. into going along with these practices and things that they set up inside this system and make it seem like it's not so wicked, but we know that it's full of wickedness.
Yeah, it is. And then our brothers and sisters gonna be brought into judgment for it. Because, you know, some of you sisters that had 4 or 5 abortions, you know what I mean? You done aborted 4 or 5 babies, all because you can't close your legs.
And see, this is what I'm saying. See that system right there that's manipulating them in it?
Yeah.
What it does is it teaches them how to have irresponsible relations.
Yep.
You know, and not think these impulsive thoughts. Let's just do it. Let's make some mistakes, and now it's a child.
Yeah, and that's like that scripture in 1 Corinthians where it said meats were created for the stomach, and the stomach was created for the meats, but God gonna judge both of them. He said, but the body was not created for fornication, because back during that with them Corinthians, they attached food with sex. They felt that every time that they ate, you know what I mean, they was supposed to, as soon as to digest their food, they was going to digest their food in some big orgy fest. You understand what I'm saying?
Wow.
And that's what Paul was trying to get them to understand. Meat and sex are not on the same plateau. God didn't create the body for fornication. He created the body for himself, okay? And so sexuality was created for the one that had a wife. So we got a lot of our sisters out here, and it's not just blaming the sisters, because our men don't have no control over their hormones. They'll lay down with anything, you know what I mean? But our sisters, you understand, it's something totally different, because you put yourself in a situation where even if you was gonna fornicate, you still could protect yourself. You ain't even protecting yourself, and then as soon as you get pregnant, you think that your quick fix is an abortion. But what you don't understand is that the Father gonna bring in judgment for that, because that baby exists with the Father before he ever get commandment to leap in a mother's womb, and the Father is going to punish you for the innocent blood that done been shed. See, we don't understand. When Achan stole the Babylonian garment, man, listen. Israel was losing, and Joshua couldn't understand what was happening. And the Father told him, man, get up, Israel done sinned. And Joshua was like, what do you mean Israel done sinned? Get up, Israel done sinned. Tomorrow you get up and you go for all tribes together. And then you go through each tribe, house by house, man by man, until you find the accursed thing. And come to find out, Achan had stole the Babylonian garment and some gold and hid it with his stuff.
Wow.
And they went through every single tribe, house by house and man by man, until they landed at him. And Joshua said, why have you troubled us? This day the Lord shall trouble you. And the Lord instructed Joshua and the children of Israel, the tribes, take Achan, take everything that he had, take his wife, take his children, take his whatever he had, take it down to the nearest field, and then they threw rocks at him and his family.
Wow.
Until they didn't move anymore. Wow. And then they set them on fire, and then raised a heap of stones up over them. Because what am I saying? Achan was one person. God said Israel have sinned. That's why we have to get our brothers and sisters to understand. Some sins are common to man. He said, you know what? You won't be tempted, except we'll only be tempted with the things that are common to us. And we will not be tempted above those things that we are able to withstand. Some sins are common to us. But some sins are not common to us, like abortion, like homosexuality, like pedophilia, like murder. See, those are not common sins. Those sins are uncommon. You know what I mean? And when our brothers and sisters do these things, In God's eyes, Israel have sinned. All of Israel have sinned. That's why we have to go out of our way to get our brothers and sisters on the same page and help them to understand, you know, it's time out for this foolishness. Because it's going to be a price to pay, man. It's a price to pay. The Father going to deliver us through tribulation and hardship. It's a price to pay, you know. So, but I wanted to come on here because I thought that was a serious, especially as it relates to the weapons and everything. I don't know. I guess that place ain't over here. I thought she said James A. Reed. Yeah, the weapons and everything, you know, we gotta use wisdom, okay? We gotta use wisdom. We gotta use wisdom when we're operating with these heathens, because the heat is about to turn up. They don't have nobody else to blame. They can't come against the Jews because the Jews have them in slavery, because he owns all the financial institutions of the world, owns all the corporations of the world, and he owns all the politicians of the world, because the only thing that the European ever had as a salvation is the riches of this world. But now the only way for him to get riches, that's how Satan then brought him into bondage. And so when these things start happening to him, when the Father's judgments start happening, guess what they gonna do? You look at some of them old mafia movies. Okay, they couldn't get to put a hit out on the Godfather, so who's the next person they reach for?
Come on, the underboss.
They want his sons. They want his family.
The underboss.
They go put a hit out on his family. So this is how they are. This is the mindset. They can't do nothing to the ones that is being done to. Look at some of our camp brothers. You can't do nothing to the Father that put us in slavery and put these people over us. So you do what the next thing? You attack the ones that's doing it. Never mind that the ones that's doing it don't have no power. The Father instructed them to do what they doing. But you can't attack the Father, so you attack the one that's doing it. Okay? They can't attack their God of this world. Their God of this world is the God of riches. They can't attack him. So guess what they do? They can't attack, you know what I mean? They can't attack, so they're going to do the next best thing. They're going to attack you. They're going to attack you. Hebrew Israelite. You're a Hebrew Israelite. Every time you say that, don't you say there wasn't nothing noble about the Messiah walking around here? The Messiah was classified as a heretic or enemy of the state. He got in the way. He stood in the way of their plans and their system. He got on their nerves. They couldn't get what they wanted to get done right, because his righteousness would always show up. And so he became an enemy of the state. Well, that's what you are. When you won't accept homosexuality, you're an enemy of the state. And one day soon you're going to be declared as somebody that's committing hate crimes, because you're now going against the laws of this land. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, you somebody that want to shut the abortion clinic down because of the Father's righteousness, because of your beliefs that that child exists before you ever get into the womb. How can you kill something that's not yours, that come from the Father, and you start talking like that against the abortion clinics and stuff like that? When they have made these things legal, now you're a heretic. You're an enemy of the state. You're a fanatic. And they want to wipe you off the face of the earth so that they can have peace. That is what's going to make that tribulation time so great as it relates to the two witnesses. You see, the whole world going to be having a party when the two witnesses show up, because everybody, the children of Israel, will be on the run. We'll be up under great persecution. We'll be being scattered in the wilderness somewhere. But the whole world will be having a party because they done identified themselves with the mark of the beast, and now this false peace done come there, until the two witnesses show up, and the two witnesses start getting on everybody's last nerve, interrupting their party and everything. But there was nothing that they could do to come against them. And at last, the Antichrist killed them. He said, and when the two witnesses died, every eye seen. It was covered on every news channel. And they left their dead bodies laying in the street for 3 days. And for that 3 days, they had the biggest world party ever known in the history of mankind, rejoicing over the fact that these two witnesses were dead, because these two witnesses was bringing plagues, was shutting up heaven, was causing the sun to burn men. They was burning men up with their mouth, spitting fire out. They was doing all of these plagues, and they was tormenting the people. And people's like, you know, we got to get rid of these dudes right here. So when they got killed, the world had a big, massive party. Oh, we got peace now. They gone finally. And that's what that's how the world going to view us. You know, because there's another trader thought that two witnesses in the earth would be Judah and Jerusalem. Yeah, I mean, Judah and Israel. You understand what I'm saying? And Judah and Israel is what's going to be getting on everybody's nerves. And the prophecy of Judah and Israel getting on everybody's nerves is being fulfilled right now. For Gad shall be overcome by the troops, by a band of raiders. But at last he shall overcome the ones that raided him. And right now over there in South Africa, you talking about prophecy? Who do you think is taking the land back? Who do you think is now running over those that raided them? Don't try to tell me Gad is some engine over here in this country. Get out of here with that nonsense. Because ain't no engine gonna overcome the troops that overcame him. They pretty much wiped them completely out. But Gad shall overcome the troop that overcame him. Gad would do something that none of the other tribes done. Gad would now take back everything that the troops that raided him stole from him. And right now, Gad is over there taking back all of the land, all of the airports, all of the businesses, all of everything. And they're putting them heathens out and not giving them a single cent. So, it is what it is. So, I'm going to push on to the next one. What?
See, that's one of those 5G.
Yeah, that's that 5G, because that thing, see, they on the mission to kill everybody. They're on a mission to kill everybody. That thing going to be throwing some frequency and waves. And I'm telling you something else. I don't know. She said James Reed and Bannister. This is Bannister. I'm looking for a garment shop.
Back over there.
Oh, the garment shop? You know where it's at? Oh, okay.
Back off in that little area.
Yeah,
right
so that's what it is. And this is another thing about the garments. See, with 5G stuff, it's gonna be spitting out radiation and vibrations. You know what I'm saying? They come against the human body. That was the importance of garments. Did you not know that the garments that the Most High constructed for the priests, them garments had frequency in them, had electricity in them, had vibration in them. You understand? Because the priest couldn't drop not one drop of sweat off his head. And if he did, the Father would kill him.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So he instructed him to wear a certain type of garments. You understand what I'm saying? That kept him from doing these things. So yeah, man. So that's what it is, man. We gotta be. Yep, that's it right there. Yeah, that's what we gotta do. So we at the garment shop right now, and once again, I want to thank you, brothers and sisters, that saw fit to help me so that I can get in this position. I had my sister. She sent a message fussing at me yesterday, talking about, we didn't need no help. All you got to do is call me. But, you know, it's not always the Father's will. You know what I'm saying? I have people that help me get things done. You know what I mean? When I need things done, if I'm in need of something. But yesterday, the Father just put that on my heart. Give your brothers and sisters, humble yourself. It ain't about you, but give your brothers and sisters the opportunity. An opportunity to be a partaker of a blessing that I'm putting on you. Because it is a blessing when the Father chooses you and sends you to go and do the work. Okay? But it's also a blessing. You don't literally have to be going with me. But anybody that helps me, and I tell my brothers and my cousins, you know what I mean? I ain't never drove nowhere, you know what I mean? My brothers and my cousins, my brothers, they get up and then they come. They come and drive me where I got to go. And that's a ministry to them. You know what I mean? I mean, because you are now teaching and you ain't doing this, that you ain't serving the Lord. Don't you know everything that you do for the one that the Father is using to get the work done, that is your service to the Most High. And that service is important as any speaker or any teacher. The person that supports the one that's doing the work, that support is just as great. So I want to come on here and just say thank you again, and let our brothers be mindful of that. Yakin Maccabee, you know, I need you to do me a favor. What I need you to do, I need you to post, I need you to post that song, Tribulation, because we're going to keep posting that song, because this is the next thing up. You know, this is what's coming. We need to get that thing so far down in our brothers and sisters' spirit that they can really digest what it is that's being said about these things to come. So when you get time, I want you to post that, and hear me, brothers and sisters. When y'all get that, I want y'all to really listen to what's being said. I want you to really listen to the revelation, according to the prophetic word in the scripture, that the Most High have given this young brother the gift to write. I want y'all to listen to this song, because it's speaking about the things that are coming. They right there at the door upon us. The Bible says, when you see the fig tree put forth her leaves, know that summer is near. Where the fig tree have put forth her leaves already. So with that being said, the fig tree done put forth her leaves.